everyone, my name's Cureton, Senior Journalist for XR Today, bringing you the latest and greatest from the XR, VR, and AR industries. And today we have on a special guest, Gaurav Wadhwa, founder of Gamooz, or Gamooz as we pronounce it right, to discuss AR technologies in education and publishing. So, Gaurav, thanks for joining us. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, Daman. I'm Gaurav, and thank you for inviting me for this interview. I'm the founder of Gamooz, and Gamooz is an interactive books platform. And what Gamooz does is basically it allows book publishers to add fun and interactivity to their printed books using augmented reality. So our platform has around 70 types of activity templates supported within our system. So a publisher can basically map these activities with pages in his book. Now these books can be of any subject like science, physics, chemistry, maths, or even alphabets or storybooks or simple activity and drawing books. How it works is I can explain to you. So for example, if this is a printed book, it's printed by, let's say it's printed by a publisher. Now, if it is using our platform, it comes with instructions to download a mobile app. This free mobile app is available on both Google Play as well as Apple App Store. So it's called Gamooz. You can go and download this app for free. Now, inside the book, if I'll show you a page, let's say this is the page. So this is like a book for 3-year-old, which says A for apple, A for ant, A for axe, A for airplane. Now this child needs help of his parents, teachers, or elder brother and sister in understanding and practicing this content in the book. He does not know what is there in the book. So instead of parent explaining what is there, what the parent does is parent downloads the app on his phone or tablet. The app opens the camera of the phone. The child takes the phone and points the camera towards this page. Like he takes the book and points the camera. The camera identifies this page and then it plays an interactive activity related to this page. For example, the page I showed you, it's a alphabets page. So once I scan or point the camera towards this page, it plays a slideshow, interactive slideshow with audio. The first slide shows apple and it also speaks out the correct pronunciation. It says A for apple. Then you swipe and the next slide is A for ant. Next slide is A for axe. Then A for aeroplane. Right? So now there are other types of books as well. Like there is a storybook. Now this child can't read stories because he's just learning alphabets. So again, he points the camera. The camera now plays and, the camera identifies the page and plays an interactive animated story. It's a video that it plays. So the child now understands this story. If it's a coloring activity, so you just point let's say there is a apple on the page and the child needs to color. The child just points the camera and now the same apple, the sketch of the apple comes on the phone with a color palette and the child can color on the phone, right? And if there is, let's say there is some question answers where a child needs to select the right alphabet for the picture. Let's say there is an apple and the child needs to select A, B or C, which is the right alphabet. So the child points the camera towards this page. The same activity becomes interactive on the phone as a quiz. And the child can now select A, B or C. And the app will tell you whether you are correct or incorrect, right? So basically what we did is with our platform, any publisher can make any page of their book interactive. They use a platform to map page number 1 with, let's say, activity number 1, page number 2 with activity number 2, page number 3 with activity number 4. And there are 70 types of activities. Like I told you a few of them. One is like an interactive slideshow, then animated videos, then fill in the blanks, match the following, spelling games, then true, false, objective type, or change the sequence, join the dots, and crossword, a word game. So there are so many different types of activities that you see in children books. So all those activities are basically supported in our platform as reusable templates, which you can map to your book. And finally, the publisher prints the instructions here, as well as on the back side, he prints the instructions to, download and use the app. And the parent can then help their children to use it, to learn from the app, and children are having a lot of fun using our platform. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, it sounds really cool. On my end, like my mom, she was a kindergarten teacher, so I remember, growing up watching her teacher, going to some other classes. I know that would have been a really valuable resource to have at the time.
Yes.
Yeah. We just had, I think, our little small Apple iMacs at the time. So, the technology has just increased by leaps and bounds over the past, few decades.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we can move on. We can talk about one thing. Like, so what was your motivation for creating this type of platform?
So I founded Gamooz in 2012, around 9 years back. And I started it as an augmented reality apps development company. I was not working in the area of education. So I was very much interested in augmented reality as a technology because I was working as a software developer before starting this company. And I left my job and started this company. So I thought, okay, AR will be really cool to start my company. That's when, and I didn't have any idea about any product. So I met a lot of advertising agencies, marketing agencies. I worked with a lot of newspapers, magazines, restaurants, furniture companies, and I created a lot of augmented reality mobile apps for them. From 2012 to 2015, we created around 200 mobile apps for different brands. Like Ford, the car company, Ford India was my customer, and we created around 15 to 18 apps for them. And but then there were other customers like Suzuki. There's an Indian newspaper called Hindustan Times, and Saudi Telecom in Lebanon. There were various customers we had, but one thing I was not happy about. It was like I didn't leave my job to start, and I didn't start this company just to make money. I mean, I was making good money in my job and I could have done hundreds of other things to make money. But what I felt was, I wanted to leave a mark in this world, right? I wanted to, like every other entrepreneur, right? You want to do something that brings a change in the world, something that improves, right? And something that, for which people should remember you, right? So, and I was not doing something. I was just making some mobile apps for random companies, for brands, and then I was making money. So in 2014, I met a book publisher. This book publisher is India's second largest textbook publisher. And I met their CEO, and he showed me his printed books. So they are printing these textbooks for children, and they were giving CDs with the book in 2014. And he was not happy with this. He said these CDs, they are useless. Nobody is using CDs anymore. Even many of the computers or laptops were not coming with CD drives, right? And so what should we do about this? Because they needed to give the digital content with the book, but CD was not the right option. So he said, why not create an augmented reality app which opens the camera, you point the camera towards the book, and it plays this animated video. They already had this video. They had already created this video, and it was there in the CD. I said, this is very easy for me because I had already created around 150 apps by then, by 2014 in augmented reality. And this was very easy, scan and then play a video. So I created basically I created these AR apps for this publisher. We worked on around 36 books for them. And the feedback from the market was amazing. From the school, from teachers, from parents, from children, it was really amazing. And this was I was amazed with this kind of feedback. I said, I think this is the area I was missing all these days. I was only working for advertising, marketing, magazines, newspapers, but never thought of education. In education, AR can be used as a utility, as a tool to enhance the learning experience of children, right? Rather than just showing an advertisement in a newspaper, or it's nice to have a newspaper. It's not a utility, real utility. You can still live without AR in a newspaper, right? But in education, it is solving a big problem. It is making the education fun. It is making book more fun, and children are more interested in now learning from the books. So I started thinking about a product as my company's future. And then I visited in Delhi. There's a word book fair that happens in every January or February every year, and I visited that book fair. I met few book publishers, and I showed it to them. They all loved it, and then I got a meeting with the Oxford University Press in India, which is one of the world's largest textbook publishers. I met them, and then finally they also came on board. They loved our product and they started using our product. And that's how our journey started for Interactive Books platform. And then I met more publishers, and slowly more and more publishers started coming on our platform, and we kept adding more activities, more features into our platform. And now we have 46 book publishers on board, and we have done around 2,500 plus books on our platform. That means there are 2,500 plus books interactive on our platform, and there are 80,000 plus interactive pages on our platform, and which is not a very big number compared to the number of books or publishers or pages in the world. But because it's still a new technology, still a growing industry, it is a big number compared to other competitors in the market. We have achieved quite a good number till date. So basically, this was my motivation, because I wanted to create something which helps improve education or learning experience of children. And I just got this idea from a book publisher, and then I started working on it, and I saw a lot of benefits, and I saw a lot of good feedback from children and schools, and just kept working on it, and here I am.
Cool. Yeah, it's an excellent story. And I know these technologies, like I said, they're going from strength to strength each time a new app is developed or a new book. We can get a little bit into the science of it, actually. If you want to talk about this, what do you think are the benefits of using augmented reality technologies to instruct people compared to traditional teaching methods? We've seen this across numerous parts of the AR industry and the VR industry as well. And a lot of people are telling us about their success stories with these new technologies. So scientifically, what did you learn about using these types of AR tools compared to traditional instruction methods?
So traditional instruction methods, like my platform, it makes books interactive, printed books interactive. Now, like I said, these printed books are passive and non-interactive, right? And they don't speak, they don't talk. You have to put your concentration, full concentration into the book, and you have to understand these books, what is written. Sometimes you understand in a wrong way, sometimes, and most of the times, it's teacher's responsibility to make you understand what is there in the book, right? And if you take an example of India is such a big country with 1.5 billion people, right? There are, I don't know how many millions of schools. I mean, if I'm right, there are around 1.5 million schools in India. Yeah. And you can imagine tens of millions of teachers, or maybe 100 million teachers in India, right? In these schools. Now, we cannot make sure that all these teachers are well educated, well qualified, well trained, and well trained to teach you actually, or teach your children. So when these books, the same book, let's say if it goes to all these schools, every teacher teaches them differently. right? Even the pronunciation, like English pronunciation is so different in India. You go from one city to another city, from one state to another state. The pronunciation varies like, it's like if I rate it on a scale of 100, pronunciation is 20 in one place and 95 in another place, right? So they
Right.
pronounce things differently, right? You might have met so many Indians, they have different pronunciations, right? English, they speak English differently, right? So in now even the education system is not that developed in India. In big cities it is good, but in small cities it is still, improving, and still, I mean, it's not that good. So with our technology, we use the curated content. It's not just some random content, not crowdsourced content. This is the content that is approved or and created by the publisher. The publisher who is running a big company, who has very well educated editors, who has employed teachers, professors who are creating this content, right? So this is curated content. And once it comes to our platform, it becomes very easily accessible to these people. Normally, the big edtech companies in the market, they're selling this content. You have to pay thousands of pounds, thousands of dollars to access this content, and you have to pay every year. But in our case, this content is available to the children for free. The children or the parent just needs to buy this printed book. Now, in India, the printed book is just how much? Let's say if it's a 100-page book, it is like £2. So you pay £2 for the book, you get the book, and then you also get a free app which contains the digital content, the interactive AR content for the whole book, for all 100 pages, right? So this is a very good thing which our platform does. You don't have to pay anything extra. You just buy the book, get the AR app, scan the page, and get the content. And the content is also designed in such a way that it's very user friendly. Even small children can use it. Like on my platform, we are supporting books from kindergarten to class 12. So the age group is like 3 to 17, 3 years to 17 years, right? So even a 3-year-old child can use my app easily. So the UI or UX is developed in such a way that it's easy to use, and it's very simple, right? So, and plus, if you talk about scientific things, so like there are various skill sets that my app helps in improving, like speaking skills, pen control, fine motor skills, then problem solving skills, family learning. It also stimulates your senses because you are listening, you're watching, you're also touching the screen. Then it also improves your writing skills. It improves your number skills, hand-eye coordination, and reading skills. So there are a lot of skills that basically we are working on with the experts in our team. And we are creating these or designing these activities so that the child basically improves these skill sets while he's using the app, and it's very easy to use. I guess that answers your question.
They say, it does. There's a lot of ways that people can kind of, unite a lot of the different skill sets that they have for especially young learners who are just tapping into those skill sets. So it needs to be, I guess, more holistic, and I think AR technologies are, capitalizing on that a bit more, so that they can help students develop their skills and imprint it into their mind in ways that traditional education doesn't really offer. So we can move on to the next question. I could definitely go further into, I guess, more of the the developmental side of the program. Now, do you use any specific platforms or languages or technologies to create these smart books? I know that some of the main platforms these days are like Unreal Engine or Unity or others that, develop VR solutions for people. Could you tell us a little bit more about the coding or the technological side of your platform?
Yeah. So, I told you that I started this company in 2012. right? So, and from 2012 to 15, I created a lot of apps within our company. Around 200 apps we created. These were like 3D apps, animated 3D animations. We even created some, fancy t-shirts. So you basically point your camera towards the t-shirt and, the objects in the t-shirt will come alive on your phone and in 3D animation, and, a lot of cool stuff we did. But it was just cool. It was not real utility. Plus, there was a big problem that I was running a business. I was not running a cool showcase company, right? I had to make money out of this. So when you do cool and when you make these cool 3D animations, they cost you a lot of money, right? And you can't get customers every day who are ready to spend lots of money. So in order to scale, I thought of this new product, interactive books platform for book publishers, because book publishers have thousands of pages. If you go to a book publisher who has books from kindergarten to 12th, so he will have at least 7 to 8,000 pages. At least 7 to 8,000 pages. So, and if he brings these 7 to 8,000 pages on our platform, which we are promising that we can work, that our platform can be used to map activities with every page. That means around 8,000 activities, right? And if he has to spend hundreds of dollars for every activity, it will go into hundreds of thousands of, dollars expense for him, which sounds really good as a business, but it's not feasible for publisher, because they are finally going to end up giving this technology for free to children, right? And then they expect their books, the sale of their books to increase. They are thinking that, okay, if you put this technology, people will buy more books. But that's, still they are not sure, right? So this was a big problem I had to solve. So I decided that my platform is not going to be 3D, which was a big thing to do, because people were working on 3D, people were working on animations, and technology was improving. And I was thinking of going down to 2D. And that was a big decision I made in 2015. I said, with my experience, I think this is the right choice. Let's go with 2D. So when it comes to 2D, I don't need all these fancy AR platforms, right? Because this Unreal Engine or Unity, all these fancy AR platforms, they are used because you need to build some 3D animations and 3D stuff and, right, games, all those things you have to do. So I decided to go with native development for Android and iOS. So our apps are still native. And so all these 80,000 pages that we have made interactive, they use 2D content. None of them uses 3D content, because the thing that I thought was actually correct. When I went to the publisher, they were not ready to pay me hundreds of dollars per page. They said, we can pay you tens of dollars rather than hundreds of dollars. And we want a solution with which we can make thousands of pages interactive rather than just maybe 10 pages interactive just for marketing activity. No, we want to make every page interactive. So that was really good. So whatever I predicted, it worked for me, and my platform was fitting their needs. It is one of the cheapest platforms in the world for publishers, so they can go and make their books interactive in few dollars an year, right? Now, about coming back to technology. So we created our own image recognition SDK. We were earlier using a third-party SDK, but then we thought that, this is the basis of our platform. If tomorrow this third-party company closes down, right, what will happen to us? I'll have to close down my company as well. So there was too much dependency on them. Plus their license fees were changing all the time, and it was really messy. So, and finally we decided that, we will create our own technology. We will create our own SDK. And it was really scary in the beginning because we didn't have any knowledge about this. We didn't have any developers. So I myself sat with my developer We worked day and night and we figured out the technology, and within 3 to 4 months, we had a prototype running, and finally we, created our own image recognition SDK, which we use in our
Yeah.
apps right now. So, and like I said, the coding is in native. The Android app is developed in Android Studio using Java programming language, and the iOS app is using Swift as well as Objective-C, the native iOS app language. Yeah, and we used Python for creating our image recognition SDK. So, yeah. That these are the technologies we use
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
now, and we don't use any fancy AI platform. It's our own platform. We have created our own backend system, our own our backend is created in PHP's framework. It uses Code Igniter framework. So if it's interesting for you, so yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, and thinking about that, I almost want to get back into coding. I mean, it was
Okay.
decades ago when I actually was playing around with C++. But, I think in this day and age, things, they say actually haven't changed as much, just there's a lot of new languages that are on the market or like in the universities to teach. So yeah, I would just wanted to know, because we may have to wrap up soon, but were there any other things that you wanted to add about, I guess, the value of using such technologies in education and other solutions that maybe you found across the market? And what else could you tell us about, what you hope that this aims to achieve in the near future?
So, see, this technology definitely has advantages, especially, a few years back, I mean, 2 years back, let's say, it was not easy for me to go and sell this product. I was going to schools, I was going to publishers, and publishers liked the idea, but then they said that, parents are very much concerned about children using phones and tablets. Even schools, they don't encourage using schools and tablets. There are some schools, of course, they use it. I'm talking about my experience in India. So in India, most of the parents, they don't want to give phones and tablets. They didn't want to give, not don't want to give. Present situation is totally different. So I'm talking about 2 years back. They didn't want to give. They didn't want to give phones or tablets to their children because of various reasons, right? And whenever I went to a school for a demo, the principal said, the technology is cool, it's very useful, I love it, but I'm very afraid that in parent-teacher meeting, the parents are going to shout at us that, why are you promoting phones and tablets? Yeah, so what should I do? So some of the some of the school principals, they agreed for this. Some of them rejected it, but I kept moving forward. But after this COVID situation, it was like I'll say, people are now looking for these digital solutions, the digital education content, and they are running behind this. I mean, they want to add as much digital content as possible in their curriculum. The schools want it, the publishers also want it, and it is actually good because now children are at home. In India, still the school is happening online. In UK, schools are open, but in India, schools are still closed, right? So children are still studying at home, and parents don't have time because parents are also either working from home or going to office. They don't have time. So they have given these mobile phones and tablets to their children. And a platform like my platform, Gamooz, it helps them, it helps take away a lot of burden from the parents, because now children can read and study from their books on their own. And children love using phones, by the way. I mean, once they use our app, they forget that they are actually studying. They think that they are playing a game. So we are and that's where our company name lies. Gamooz is like gamifying education. So we are gamifying books and gamifying education. So this is like a game for them. Now the books are more interesting. They're not boring for them. And I think these new edtech companies, they are trying to do that, which is good for the future of education. Yeah.
Yeah. And Yeah, and only time will tell what kind of new solutions they come in the future. I think I may have mentioned, but
Yes.
also, one of the things is keeping the kids engaged throughout the entire learning process, so that way they can fully internalize what they have read, and they'll come back to their parents and say, "Oh, well, look, I learned this, and I can show it to you on my my smartphone or my new tablet, and the teacher taught us this, and it was a lot of fun." So that's really, really good information to share. So thanks so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
So once again, we've had Gaurav Wadhwa, founder of Gamooz. He was speaking to us again about using AR technologies in education and publishing. So thank you so much for coming on today, and please do keep us updated on your company's progress.
Thank you, Damon. Thank you for inviting me. It was a pleasure.
Okay, cheers. And if you guys enjoyed today's conversation, please like, share, and subscribe to our content so that you can always be kept in the loop. Please also feel free to spread the word on conversations from XR Today with the XR News hashtag on Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. This is Damon Cureton from XR Today. Thanks so much for joining us, and have a good one. Cheers.